And you are watching another short edition, Blewett's Blitz. Deciding to be positive again today. We go over the bad from the offense.
If we can just complete a pass, it would look good.
We'll do it in the full review. We can go over the bad from the coach. We'll talk about that in a live stream. But for today, we're going to focus a little bit on the Jets' positives from the secondary, specifically Sauce Gardner, Brandon Stevens, and then some others sprinkled in there. Let's be positive, try to find the positives. The rest of the season's not going well. We will be reviewing quarterbacks relatively soon, so look forward to that. But for now, let's get into some secondary talk. First play, Sauce, one target, one pass breakup. A guy who, minus really a few big plays here and there. The Pickens touchdown, which he got pushed off of twice. The Waller touchdown where he got pushed off of. A little bit of bad technique on that one from Sauce as well. Go back and watch the review about that one, and a few plays here and there against the Bucks. I think that was really his worst game. Sauce has been pretty good the last few weeks. You look at the separation numbers; he's not allowing separation. I think he's allowed like 120-ish yards the entire season. So Sauce may not be all-pro Sauce yet. Again, he may not be a top 3 guy yet, but he's been a top 10 guy at the minimum. And this is with secondary blown coverages and the pass rush who can't really get home consistently. Sauce has been very, very good. So let's dispel that Sauce is one of the guys that the Jets need to get rid of and all this stuff. That's a little bit of crazy talk. Sauce has been perfectly fine. Again, a top 10 corner this season. And I think he will get back to his top 3, top 5 corner in the league. He's been playing like it the last few weeks. So here is one pass breakup against McMillan. Been playing pretty well as a rookie. We're going to watch the rep and then we'll talk about it a little bit after. I wish I had a little bit closer view of some of the corners, and the MetLife all 22 is always very high, but nonetheless, it's good enough, right? We could see Sauce at the top of the screen here versus McMillan. So nice low stance. I like that. Feet are about shoulder width apart, which we also like that. Sauce does have a tendency to get his feet a little bit too close and standing a little bit too high. And when you do that, your body tends to overreact to movements, especially in the lower half, and drop your weight into your heels. When you have a nice wide base, your body doesn't want to do that as much. And what we also love about this rep from Sauce is he's not overzealous. You have a gather step right there from McMillan. Sauce doesn't react. He's perfectly still. Again, not reacting to any movement.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
McMillan starts to angle the route out to the outside. He starts to send to the outside. Sauce does a really good job of keeping the eyes low. We see the eyes are low onto the hips. Again, the hips don't lie. the head does. I could see a Shakira drop in here in a second, but it's gonna be one of those things where, like, if there are big booty Latinas, which I have a weakness for, I'm not gonna lie. Big booty Latinas, I'm not gonna lie. I have a weakness. What is this garbage on the TV? So I gotta hide it well. So thank you, Bad Bunny. At least if we're getting some big booty Latinas, we'll take it. It's a minimum. I have a weakness, I'm not gonna lie. The hips don't lie. Look at the hips. The hips will tell you the story of where he's going. Sees him angling to the outside. Gets one shuffle in outside. 2 shuffles in, gets the hands on. It is so important in press to get shuffles in. You'll see a lot of guys open the gate or just completely flip their hips open. When you do that, you're not allowing contact. You're kind of allowing them to dictate the beginning of the route. So really good job getting 2 shuffles in, using his length to get 2 hands on. Now you have McMillan, who is running this, I believe it's just a speed out or an out, running this route. And what he does right now is he comes up with the right hand. He wipes Sauce's hands away, wipes the hands away. Sauce in the past, it may be a little bit over eager here and may end up grabbing, but he does a good job of disconnecting, not grabbing, reading the body language, sees the break coming, right? He's not connected right now, sees the break coming, matches the break. And this is something that Sauce needs to do more of, I believe. And he did more in his rookie year. He trusts his athleticism and didn't grab. Trust your athleticism. He can get there. Okay, gets back. And the thing I love about this too is, there are so many NFL players who are guilty of looking back for the ball before they have contact and coverage that they get lost. Sans Cisco this game. Cisco ended up in coverage on that touchdown, and he's looking at the quarterback and not making contact, not looking at the receiver who's responsible for it. Lets up a touchdown. You have to make contact with the guy before you're starting to look back for the ball. In most scenarios, obviously, right? And all of them, that's not necessarily true, but in most scenarios, when you're specifically in coverage against one guy, you have to get your hands on him. Hands on him. Look at the right hand of Sauce. Extend to get on him. Now he looks back for the ball, sees the ball is coming, stabs through the hands, pass deflection. Could not draw up a better press rep than that from Sauce. Okay, this view, I'm not sure if we can really get much of an angle on the pass deflection, his hand getting in there, but it does hit his hand. He does punch his hands through the hands of McMillan. And again, we talk about a lot of corner technique and whether you want to put your hand like up and through the arms, stab through the hands, rip the ball out. There's a bunch of different little techniques you could do there, but stabbing through the hands with a straight arm is a good idea. Again, and we want to stab, not swipe. Hell of a rep from Sauce right there. Okay, another guy. I've been talking about this a lot in my streams and on shows and stuff. Stevens is kind of the victim of his first two games. Jets fans are tend to be a little bit quick to build their entire opinion about a guy in a game or two. Yeah, the first three games he wasn't great. The last 4 weeks, Stevens has been a solid number 2 corner. Okay, is that crazy to say? The last 4 weeks, he hasn't get up a lot of targets. He's been making nice tackles. He'll get beat here and there, but he's met that contract, if not slightly exceeded that contract the last 4 weeks. Okay, so been a lot of people talking about just him in general and still kind of throwing him to the wolves. But show me his bad plays last 4 weeks. Again, 4 weeks, and there will be one or two, but nothing compared like to the first 3 weeks. So run game tackle, wing screen right here, and Stevens is on the bottom of the screen. Let's watch him a little bit in the run game here. Okay. So we have cover 2. We have Tampa 2. He opens to the strength. 2 deep. You got 4 under. Why? Is there 5 blitzing? Or there's 4 blitzing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, sorry, there's 5 under. 5 under, 2 high, 4 blitzing. He's a cloud corner. He's responsible for the curl to flat to the field side right here. Okay, so swing screen comes. Stevens identifies this swing screen coming. Does a good job of, again, not jumping to the inside. He wants to force this player back up the seam. Okay, breaks down in open space, nice and low. Takes on the receiver with his hands inside with good leverage. Stands up the receiver, maintaining the outside leverage. The running back works to the outside. Stevens works his way to the outside as well, gets a hand just on the running back to trip him up. It's a good rep by Stevens. Again, get into your exit angle. Don't let him go up the alley. Maintain your outside leverage. Attack the blocker with hands inside and good leverage. Don't let yourself get outflanked to that sideline. Almost does, but doesn't. Good rep by Stevens there. All right, another play from Stevens on the bottom of the screen. We're going to see him as a cloud corner again in Tampa 2. Actually, it's not even in Tampa 2. They actually rotate. Right now they're showing more of a 3 or even like a combo coverage where it's man coverage to the top right here because he's isolated. Maybe man coverage here and then a 3 to the bottom, but they're not showing 2. So we get the late rotation from Malachi Moore over the top. So a little bit of eye candy from the Jets, which we obviously like, right? We don't want it to be too simple on these quarterbacks. Smash concept to the bottom. We have a quick out from the number 1, and number 2 runs a corner, a sail route. And Stevens does a good job of playing the middle of this, right? Initially matches the out route. His eyes aren't on the receiver though. His eyes are on Bryce Young. He's looking at Bryce Young. Where is Bryce Young looking? In his peripheral vision, he probably sees this going vertical. So if it goes vertical to the inside or just the straight seam, he's obviously not going to be very responsible for it. But if this is an outbreak, he could help his safety out here, his rookie safety out here, and gain some depth. So that's why he's looking at Bryce Young. Bryce Young starts to look to the deep route. Stevens. Now he's loading up, confirms it. Stevens is now in recovery mode to get underneath of the route. Get smash concept, really attacks that corner and cloud. Extends, gets the pass deflection. And really, if I'm being nitpicky here, just looking at the play, I think if he were to take an extra step here and then run under it, this probably could have been a pick because it hits him right in the hand. So it looks like he jumps. And again, this is me being very nitpicky. It looks like he jumps just a step too early. I think if you were to take another step here and then jump, you could actually have a pick, but he might have misjudged the ball just a little bit, but still. We're going to take that PD all day by Stevens. We'll watch it again in full speed. Hell of a play by him. Again, match it, look at the eyes, let your eyes take you underneath of that sail, of that corner out, and get the pass deflection there. All right. About midway through, we only got 2 plays left, a little bit shorter one. Just a reminder to throw a like, comment. You guys have been great with that, honestly, on these videos. Even though some of them don't have a ton of views, the comments have been outstanding. So we appreciate that. I understand a lot of Jets fans are apathetic, but for the people who are commenting, it obviously helps us a lot with the algorithm. Subscribe. There's been new subscribers to the full reviews as well. $3 a month on YouTube for the full reviews. And if you want the entire JetX team, it's $5 a month if you purchase it yearly. JoeRB31 on Twitter. Appreciate the heck out of you all. All right, we have a Brownley appearance. Very good game last week. 2 or 3 really nice tackles in the run game. Nice tackle here in the run game. He got pancaked by Aquanu in this game. And there was a few plays in the run game that he got blocked on. So not as good in the run game in this game. But there's also a few coverage reps I didn't show last week as well that were pretty good from Brownley. So Brownley overall, good game. A great game 1. Or game 2, if you really want to count his first game where he got like very minimal reps. And in this game, a little bit more spotty, but we're still seeing some flashes from him in the run game. And he's still new, right? So he still has to learn a lot of stuff. But I absolutely love Brownley in the box. It's been really interesting to see what they do with Michael Carter the second when he gets back. I think they honestly, in my opinion, they put him back at strong safety, replaced Malachi Moore. I know people had Malachi Moore having a good game. That pass breakup, I'll just be transparent with you guys. He was lucky the ball was late and was bobbled because he got beat pretty badly there. And if that ball was thrown on time, if there wasn't pressure, and it was thrown on target and not lofted up there, and it's not dropped or bobbled, it's not a good play for him, right? So the results were a pass breakup. The process was not good to get there. So I don't think Moore's been playing great. So I'd rather see Michael Carter in there. We'll see. Just to see if you can salvage Michael Carter's contract, because I don't think you don't get a lot of money if they cut him. So it'd be interesting to see if they maybe try him out at safety, and that's your safety the next year or two. So it'd be interesting to see. But tackle on duo, we'll play it first, and then we'll run a little bit. So you have the receivers coming down on like crack blocks from the outside right there. You got duo, okay, like a run situation just based on how everybody plays it. They're expecting run. Brownley immediately keys on the receiver and the tight end working quickly inside, gets his eyes into the backfield, right? He's a pretty clear picture through that D gap, E gap, pretty clear picture of the running back. Sees the running back is taking it more vertical. And at first he's going to like spike into that gap. I think he realizes at this point the run's a little bit more vertical and they can bounce this run to the outside. And you have the running back whose eyes are kind of on him. So instead of just penetrating that gap and hoping he makes a play, I think he realizes like he can't really get there. And the running back's looking at me. He's probably going to bounce this run to the outside, plants that right foot, right? Shortens the stride, plants the foot, clubs the receiver by him, maintains his balance, works to the outside, makes a tackle. Again, really quick recognition of, hey, like I think he's bouncing this run. I'm not just going to try to penetrate there. Notice the blocker with your peripheral vision, make the tackle in conjunction with Azareye'h Thomas, who I thought came in and had a few solid reps in his very limited snaps in this game. Okay, a little bit of a bonus. One's not even really like good or bad, but this is the Azareye'h Thomas losing the game on third down to ice the game against Leggett.
For the league, my last name.
And, again, I just want to show like some of the lack of consistencies with push-offs. Especially, I think that Garrett Wilson a few weeks ago just set me off where I'm going to show it all the time now because it's really just mind-boggling how they don't call this on some guys. But he's at the top of the screen right here. He does a pretty good job. Nice low stance. We'll talk about a little bit about his hips being locked out. Talk a little bit about jump splitting. So that's what he does here. So I like the kick step initially. That first kick step with the left foot, when you have a guy coming off of you at the line of scrimmage really quickly, 210-pound, 200-pound guy, your body tends to want to like rock back or throw your weight back on your heels. So a lot of coaches teach you kick step, which is almost like a taught false step. It just allows you to maintain your base and not be leaning on your heels. But then what he does after is he gets a little bit on his heels. We see a little bit of a jump split. When you jump split, your base widens and you drop your weight back onto your heels. You're locking your hips out. And we can see him kind of get stuck here just for half a second. He has to jump, like hop out of that because he's locked a little bit. Jump split, leaning it back onto the heels. It's not a great position to be in. Now he does have, decent athleticism. He has good acceleration. Not the best top end speed, but decent. I do think he's faster than his 4.5 something 40 time. He's probably a low 4.5 guy to a high 4.4 guy, which is plenty capable in the NFL today. Again, hops back, but still is on the route. Again, I'm just being a little bit nitpicky. I'm just talking about, okay, watch the jump splitting. Okay, opens the hips up to the outside. Is in phase. He's in phase with this receiver. He's completely with him. There's absolutely no separation. But watch what happens at the 40-yard line. Okay, where did that separation come from? I wonder, ref. Maybe the fact that Leggett has his left hand into, and again, I wish the view was a little bit better here, but you definitely saw on the broadcast. His left hand is into the shoulder right here. Push off. There's a push off right here at the 40. Push off, and there's a reason he gains another 2 yards of separation on Thomas. He went from being completely locked up, and then magically a hand goes into the shoulder, and then there's 2 yards of separation, but it's not a push off, according to the ref who's standing right there on the sideline. Okay, Garrett Wilson was called for the ticky-tackiest push off on a touchdown, but on a game icing play on, let's call it 3rd and 8, the Leggett's not called for the push off against Thomas. So let's be consistent with the rules, ref. If we're going to call it on one guy, please call another, because Sauce was pushed off on, this was pushed off on, Sauce was pushed on against Evans, Abuka, George Pickens pushed off on him, Waller pushed off on him, and the Jets have been beaten by these type of plays multiple times this year, and nobody's calling push-offs. So just a little bit frustrating bonus there. I appreciate you guys. I'll be back next week with another review, Jets-Bengals game short review. Don't know what it's going to be on, but we'll see. And then after that, I'm going to start dabbling into the quarterbacks. I'm not doing full-blown reviews yet. I'm just going to get kind of like whet my appetite for it. I'm going to get like 3 games in of Simpson, 3 games in of Moore, 3 games in of Mendoza, and start to give some initial thoughts on those guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time.